Hey folks, Jeff here at Back to Country. Well, I just drove over 1,900 miles to come visit my folks. And unfortunately, during that drive, I had a little issue. A rock hit my dang windshield. Well, this window's already had 2 chip repairs done on it. And unfortunately, this one's kind of right in my field of view, so I don't know if I'm going to replace the windshield or what I'm going to do in the long run, but right now, to finish out this trip, I just ordered a do-it-yourself repair kit from Amazon, and I'm going to try to DIY repair this windshield. So let's do it and see how it works out. So this is the repair kit that I bought. It just says do-it-yourself windshield repair kit, and let's go through what's in it and see what it's going to take. So here's everything that was in the package. We've got the suction cup, I don't know what you would call this thing, but it's basically applicator or whatever, how we're going to do it. And we've got a syringe with a locking in deal, 2 bottles of the resin, a razor blade, and a couple of I don't know if you call these finishing strips or what, and some instructions. Process seems pretty easy. First thing we're going to do is clean out the area, and we're going to put the applicator on the window lined up over the divot, I guess, and then we're going to screw it down so we get a good seal, and put the resin in. Then we're going to put a vacuum on it. Hopefully that resin's going to run down inside of that divot. Leave that for a little bit. It says 3 to 5 minutes. And then we're going to pull the syringe off, and we're going to put it back on, and then we're going to put pressure to it and leave it for a little bit longer. And then the final touch-up will be some more resin with that finishing strip. So that's the gist. Let's go ahead and get into it and see what we got to do to actually fix the windshield. So the first thing I did is just take a rag, and I'm just wiping the dust off of it. You can see the divot right here where the rock hit, and of course it caused a little bit of a spider web, whatever you want to call it. The damage goes through, but definitely there's only the divot right there. It says the first thing that we should do is clean out that divot to make sure there's no loose pieces of glass in there. And yeah, when I put my knife in there, definitely the glass is coming out of there. So clean that out a little bit and then wipe it off again. Scrape it a little more. And that should be good. Basically took out all the big stuff. All we're getting is little shatterings now. If I continue to scrape it, I could probably dig all the way through the windshield. I don't know. But I think that's good enough to start with. Next thing I think we got to do is line that applicator up to where the it matches where the divot is. So I guess that's what we'll do next, is get the applicator and see if we can get it lined up. Okay, I'm not sure how well this is gonna film because the sun is shining, which is good because you want some UV to cure this resin. So we're just gonna see how it goes here. But the first thing I gotta do is try to figure out how to line this thing up to where it's perfect with that divot. So I screwed this in until it touches and we'll see if we got it right or not. I want to make sure all these suctions get a good seal on the window. And it looks like we got it lined up right. So then you screw this down, and it's got like a dimple on the end, and you want that to basically go flat. That's what we did. So we should be ready now to put some resin in there. And so this plunger thing I don't think we need on there yet because it doesn't have any hole through it or anything. So this is just like a plunger. There's no hole or anything through it, so everything works with this part. So let me grab the resin, and we're gonna put I think it was 5 drops or something. We'll read the instructions again and go on to the next move. Alright, so it says we're gonna put 5 to 8 drops of the resin into the applicator, and supposedly the 5 to 8 drops depends on the amount of damage. Well, how would I know what constitutes 5 versus 8? So I'm just going to put 8 drops, and based on that 8 drops, whatever's left will run out when we take it apart, so it's okay. Huh. Well, no drops are coming out so far. That ain't no good. Well, there's definitely resin in there. I took the lid off and looked at it. But I have not seen a single drop come out of this thing. So that's no good. See if I can pour it out. Well, I poured 8 drops in there. Why it wouldn't squeeze out of this so-called applicator is beyond me. So the next thing we do is we put the syringe on there, and then we pull it out to the end, turn it, and there's this little wire that holds it out, so that creates a vacuum, and that's supposed to put a vacuum on the divot, whatever, and allow that resin to kind of drip down in there or whatever. Now I don't know if giving it a little tappy tap helps or not, but that's what I'm doing because it just seems like it would help. I've never done this before, so just kind of winging it. So let's look from the inside and see what it looks like there, if we can see anything going in there. So the underside, it's really hard to tell if it's doing anything or not. Supposedly we leave it like this for 3 to 5 minutes. So I don't know. I guess we'll wait 3 to 5 minutes and go on to the next step and just see what happens. But it's really hard to tell like this. Whether it's working or not, I have no idea. Guess we'll have to wait and find out. Alright, it's been close to 5 minutes, and according to the instructions, it basically says that the vacuuming part, you're looking for it to take air bubbles out of the cracks, divots, whatever. I didn't really see any air bubbles, so I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next point, which now is to pressurize. So we're going to remove the syringe. So that we don't have a vacuum anymore. Then we're going to put it back on, and now we're going to push it in to pressurize it, and hope that pushes the resin into the cracks. And I can see that it went in some, but I can see some of the cracks are still not full. So if it didn't fill it, then we're supposed to basically do the whole thing again. Now I saw another deal that this will help to drive some of the resin into, so we'll see if that helps. Oh well, it drove some out. Made a mess on my windshield now. I guess we're just gonna kind of let it dry, and then we gotta scrape all that off. Did it help? I don't know. Maybe some. Now we can still do more to it, but we're kind of looking to see if it helped on the inside. I think it looks improved. So next we got to try to improve the actual divot there. We'll fill it in with resin, and then we'll put one of those little finishing strips on it or whatever, and see if that improves it. So let's do that. Alright folks, I left it to dry overnight, so we're going to take a look at it and see what it looks like, and hopefully go through the last step, and well, it'll come out as good as it comes out. Alright, so that's basically what it looks like. Next thing we got to do is pull this cover off. Comes off really easy, and then you can see there's some excess resin on there, and we're going to try to scrape that off, and that should be the finished product. Now I can still see a bit of the star, if you will, but it's definitely less than it was in the beginning, so it'll be good enough to at least get us back home, and we'll see how that works out, and if we decide to get a new windshield or what. So it's not perfect by any means. But like I say, it's better than it was. To the touch, it's pretty smooth, but I think that's about as good as we're going to get it. Still very visible. It's not as bad as it was, but it's still visible. So, I don't know. At least it won't spread. Well folks, that's all there is to that. It's better than it was. I think that with the resin being mostly dried up like that, that probably had some impact on it. I'm going to go back to Amazon and see if I can return it. Their return policy is usually pretty good. The fact that the resin was dried up, like I say, I don't feel like got my money's worth. We did at least do a repair. I don't think it'll spread or anything like that now, but it's not a perfect repair. Maybe that just takes more experience, whatever, I don't know. I mean, I've had professional repairs done, and I can see those too, so even those aren't like perfectly invisible. So I guess it just depends on how bad the break is or whatever as to how good the repair comes out. You know, I've had this or I've repaired this windshield now 3 times, so I probably will replace it. How soon I replace it is just going to come down to priorities, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, as always, appreciate you watching our videos. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it out, all that kind of stuff. That's how you help our channel, and it's absolutely free, so I appreciate you helping us out like that, and hopefully we'll continue to make more content that you find useful, at least somewhat. Anyway, my recommendation on this product is a non-recommendation, mainly because, like I say, the resin was pretty much dried up and everything, meaning it's spending too much time on the shelf and it's probably old, so it's not moving fast enough. So basically check your resin if you do buy some, no matter what the brand, and make sure that it's not dried up when you get it. Other than that, take care. God bless. We'll see you on the next one.